Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and today I'm here with my weekly WIP and Chat. If you are new and aren't sure what that means, well, WIP stands for Work in Progress and Chat just means that we're gonna hang out and chat a little bit today, probably for the next hour or so. So I invite you to pull out a diamond painting or another crafting project, or let me keep you company while you're getting, chores done or whatnot. And work alongside me if you like. So I always enjoy checking in with you each week. These videos of mine typically go up on Monday mornings. And today I'm going to be working on a diamond painting. This kit is called Snapdragon Sprite, and I have the image here actually. This is from Distracted by Diamonds and is by the artist Mitzi Satowiuf. I may be mispronouncing. We are actually going to be starting on, we're going to be opening up this section that has, this is the dragon's feet actually, and tail, I believe. So we're kind of like right in this section. You guys are going to get some really pretty colors with this one. So this is my dragon kit for this month and has a lot of really pretty and happy colors. And I split it into 6 rows and have been working from the bottom to the top. So the second section of the third row here, and it's coming along really nicely, I think. I don't know if I've seen this particular kit stocked in the Distracted by Diamonds shop in a little while, but I will take a look, and if it is there, I will link directly to the listing, and if not, I will link just to their storefront, which they are, the name on Etsy is Patty Wax, because they also carry Patty Wax, which is this wax that I'm going to use in my single placer today. I didn't realize the bag is looking a little sad because I think that this brick of Patty Wax is nearly 4 years old actually. So that's one of my favorite scents. I really need to do a nice clean slice off the back so that I don't have all that to work with. But this is one of my very favorite scents that Patty Wax carries, and I'm going to be using this in my single placer today. And then in my multi-placer, I'm going to be using this Randa's Crafty Corner Putty in the scent Sweet Pea. And I don't know if I've used this one before. We'll see. I don't always know if I've broken into a particular scent of putty before. I have a lot of putty in particular, and so I just grab whatever scents are really calling to me. This pen is from Chroma Diamond Art Pens on Etsy. I opened this one in a recent small shop haul and thought it would be fun to actually use it and work with it today. Excuse me for yawning. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Excuse me for yawning. This minder is from Agnes Little Minders. It's a handcrafted polymer clay dragon, and I actually just had another delivered yesterday from a recent collection that she dropped. So I have several of these. They're little treasures in my collection. And this tray, look at that iridescent sheen on this. And this color was just too perfect to go with this kit. This is from Munimade. I don't remember this exact color shade, but yeah, I'll tell you what, this kit with all of its pink and aqua mint hues, that just is my exact happy place of a color palette. So I'll tell you what, I had so much fun. I'm going to show you, even though I'm not using these pens in this video, but they're handy in my little thing here. Look at all these other fun pens that I grabbed that just totally fit with the vibe and color scheme of this kit. I had too much fun, and obviously even the putty and wax and stuff. I couldn't resist. I have way too much fun. Let me pull this out and use the metal placer. That was in there really snug. I wonder if I'm even gonna need the washi tape that's on this multi-placer. Okay, there we go. There's old putty in here that I'm gonna go ahead and clean out and load up some new putty. And the wax, the single tip end should be clean because I have not. Yeah, I was gonna say I just got this pen and I haven't used it, unless I did and I just did it in my sleep and forgot about it. Oh, that didn't work. Oh yeah, this is the Diamond Art Club putty wax putty. It has kind of an interesting texture to it. I talked about it in my video. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I really try to cycle through using different products in my WIP and Chats. That way I can not only show some love to various small shops, but also hopefully share my thoughts on various products with you guys. I hope that it's helpful. You'll find all of these accessories linked below too if you want to go check out some small shops. Okay, I think, hoping that's going to be clean enough. It's really not, it's not wanting to clean out as easily as most of my putties do. Hold on a second. Okay. That's a little better. Okay, anyway, so hello. Happy Monday. How are you today? I hope that your weekend was as wonderful as you are, and that your week is off to an even more wonderful start. It is, I have used this before. Okay. It is currently Sunday evening as usual. You guys may, if you've been around, you're like, yeah, we know. This is when you sit down to chat with us and catch up. It's a really nice way for my brain to just sort of relax and decompress coming out of the weekend and shift into a new week and a weekday mode, a school week mode for my kids and myself. Though summer is just right around the corner. I cannot believe it is May. By the way, do I have any other fellow millennials in my generation here? Are we still haven't given up on the whole making the joke about Justin Timberlake and It's Gonna Be May, have we? Saw a really funny reel about that the other day, and it was really spot on, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's that's us. This is the joke that we are just truly never going to let go for all time. Just, it made me chuckle quite a lot. So anyway, I have a flat surface underneath this, and I realized I didn't shift it from where I worked on that last section. Let's see, there we go. I have my kitchen table is textured. It's like an unfinished wood material, and I mean, I think it's technically finished, but it's like it's got a texture to it. It's like a rough hewn, like you feel the grains and stuff. And I also have a table runner on my table. So if I try to diamond paint, if I just set it straight, on my table on the table runner, it just doesn't lay flat. And so I have actually just a flat piece of cardboard. It's very, very, very glamorous that I lay underneath my canvas. Oops, sorry to bump you. And that just gives me a consistently flat surface to work on. I don't know. Does anyone else have to do anything like that with their workspace? I live in a small space. As I have talked about a few times here before, you may have heard me mention, I live in a very small space and I do not have a dedicated craft room of any sort. Wow, this looks terrible. Like the back just looks awful. Let me find a little clean area to scrape. I'm gonna leave this out. I'm gonna clean this after because that just looks awful, but still smells amazing. So anyway, I diamond paint out my kitchen table, and that means that I have to, tear down, pack everything away and whatnot when I'm at the end of each of my, diamond painting sessions. Maybe someday I'll have a craft room, but for right now, I am beyond thankful for what I do have and the space that we do have. It's been pretty good to us. This condo has had a couple of interesting things come up about it, and I regularly think not very nice thoughts about the previous owners and the band-aids they slapped on things that now we are, paying the penalty for. Hold on. I just really messed that up. There we go. Okay, let's try that again, except for that glare. Yeesh. Okay. Anyway, yes, back to what I was saying. So it is Sunday evening, probably Monday morning for you. Sorry, Adam came home and I wanted to say hi. So, about this kit. So this is from Distracted by Diamonds, which is a shop that I very early on when I started diamond painting had discovered, and they really were one of my very, very favorite shops to work on. And I still really enjoy their kits a lot, but I realized it had been a while since I'd worked on one of their kits and knew I wanted to make sure I worked on one this year. they used to have the artist Geneva Bowers, who just makes the absolutely most beautiful art, and sadly doesn't license out her artwork for diamond paintings any longer because she just got really upset about her artwork being stolen by like AliExpress shops. And I don't know if she felt like the attention that was brought to it from diamond painting was part of the reason that happened. But man, it was such a bummer and like a huge loss. But anyway, yeah, so it had been a while since I worked on a Distracted by Diamonds kit, and I bought this kit back in the fall. It really caught my eye, not only because it has a dragon, but because it is all modeled after and like inspired by like the flower, snapdragon flowers. Sorry, stumbling over my words this evening. And I have just a very nostalgic attachment to snapdragons in general, because as a kid they were my favorite flower. I always thought it was really neat to my mom always had them in our flower beds, and I always thought it was really neat to very carefully open up the petals to like look inside. I thought it was just really neat that they closed like little snapdragons, like little dragons' mouths. And so I don't know, I've always really enjoyed snapdragons a lot, and this kit just, I had to have it when it released back in the fall. And I am really enjoying working on it. And I know some people have had some kind of mixed experiences with Distracted by Diamonds in terms of like, the glue or some of the other, I don't know if there are other things about it, but I don't have any complaints about this kit. And I mean, I'm trying to like pay attention too. No issues with the glue at all. I guess some of the symbols, the printing on the canvas is maybe a little bit fuzzy in some areas on just a couple of the symbols, but thankfully it's really not difficult to figure out what symbol it's supposed to be, because the background color, matches the symbol on the containers pretty well, and process of elimination is really easy too. There's a personal preference thing about this kit though, and I'm actually incredibly curious to hear your personal thoughts on this, because I think this is entirely subjective. But this kit uses exclusively alphanumeric symbols, so only letters of the alphabet and only numbers. There's no other kind of symbol on this canvas. There's various upper and lowercase letters, and there's numbers 1 to 8. And they skipped 9. And they skipped the capital letter B, so you don't mix it up with the number 8. I actually really dislike exclusively alphanumeric symbols. And the reason for that for me is that when I'm diamond painting and I open up a section and I look at it, I'm looking to see, okay, what symbol is really jumping out at me that is going to be easy for me to place because it's jumping out at me. I don't feel like I have to hunt for that symbol at all. And sometimes it has to do with the color. Sometimes it has to do with, and sometimes it has to do with the symbol itself. I guess it's really only those two things. And I guess how much of it there is in that particular section. But when it comes to it just being letters and numbers, I don't find that those symbols are different enough from each other, sort of in style, I guess, to stand out to me in the same way. I don't mind if there's letters and numbers mixed in with other symbols, like, arrows or, triangles or, equal signs or something like that. But when it's all letters and numbers, sometimes it feels like it's harder to find symbols that stand out to me. And so sometimes it feels like it takes longer. So with this kit, I'm having to go off of, okay, what colors are standing out to me the most? But I guess, my question is, do you have a preference? Like, what works well for your brain? Do you love the idea of like all letters and numbers? Or do you like to have a mix of other symbols in the mix as well? I remember seeing this in like a post in one of the Diamond Art Club. It was the VIP group. Someone commented and was like, oh, I wish that they would just switch to all letters and numbers. And I was like, no, please never do that, Diamond Art Club. I would cry. But again, I think it's just really subjective if that works for your brain or not. I remember when DIY Moon Shop, before they closed, I think the manufacturer that they had switched to did almost entirely letters and numbers. So, I know it exists out there, and I'm doing okay with this one. I really am. I really, really am. It's not as bad as it could be, maybe because there's a good amount of like color variance. So that helps the symbols stand out to me. We'll see. Some of the sections that there are a bunch of like the blue, various different shades of blue, like in the backgrounds. I guess some of those are a little trickier, but so I'm glad I'm working on this one. This will be my dragon kit for the month of May. And as far as what else I'm going to work on in May, I'm not sure. There's a lot of possibilities. May is going to be a really busy month for me in general, and so I don't want to overdo it at all. I am going to a diamond painting retreat at the end of the month, and I'm going to be gone from like a Wednesday to a Sunday. I have so many things I need to get ready for that. So I'm going to be at that. That's going to be, a good chunk at the end of the month. And then my parents are coming into town, and they're going to be in town for, I think, just over a week, over my oldest's birthday. And we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff with them here. There's something else going on too that I'm blanking on. It's a busy month. It's a busy month. It's like the last full month of school for the kids. So again, because I know all of that means that I want to make sure I'm not overdoing it when it comes to what I want to try to get done diamond painting wise. So I'm glad I'm working on this dragon kit at the beginning of the month, so I can at least feel like, okay, I'm still knocking out a dragon kit for this month. And when June 1st kicks off Summer with the Masters, so I need to do some prep leading up to that and make sure I'm all squared away with that before I go off to the retreat, because the retreat goes from like the last couple of days of May into the first couple of days of June. So I'm going to be gone right when Summer with the Masters is kicking off. So I'll be filming ahead. My month in review video will be late, but I will film ahead for Summer with the Masters. Just a kickoff video, Maybe I'll take my first Summer with the Masters kit with me to the diamond painting retreat. This is one, unfortunately, there are no spots still available. It filled up pretty quickly after it went live. But in case you were interested, there is a Facebook group where they track various like retreats that they know are happening. And I will do my best to remember to link that down in the description box below if you were interested. And that's where you can that's one place to kind of try to stay up to date with different retreats that are happening in different parts of the country. I know there was a retreat that happened just this past weekend, I think, but it seems like more and more people are planning and hosting them. So, you know what? If there's not been one in your area and you want there to be one, you should plan one. Anyone can plan one. Anyway. So I don't know though, like I know there's an Ivy Dolomore event that's going on this month that I maybe will try to pull out a kit to work on for that. A lot of the Ivy Dolomore kits in my stash are either really large or are like kind of rainy day kits. I don't know if I'm ready to work on them yet. But I'll take a look maybe, because I really enjoy Ivy Dolomore's artwork a lot. I've done a few kits by that artist, and they look really good. I think I need to go and see if there's any artworks that I should go in and try to submit of theirs to licensing, to maybe see if they'll get voted on for diamond paintings, because I feel like it's been a little while since we've seen an Ivy Dolomore release. So we'll see what this month has in store. I don't know. I tend to fly by the seat of my pants sometimes, especially when it comes to months that I'm not hosting any events or anything like that. I finished the kit that I was working on with you guys last week, the It's Okay to Be Different kit, the Rainbow Infinity symbol. and I really enjoy how that turned out. I gave a little mini review of it in my month in review where I shared my thoughts, and I'll probably do a dedicated post review on it as well. But man, that was such a good kit to be charted as a partial diamond painting, so I didn't have to do all that color blocked, like light color background. And the special drills in it were just fantastic. I loved all of the different special drills that were in the gold colors that were kind of laced throughout. Oh, so good. So good. So many special drills. So little time. And just along with that, I wanted to say thank you for those of you that sent in questions or just listened in on the WIP and Chat that I did last week that was really centered around my own personal journey to like getting an autism diagnosis and sort of what that's looked like. And the Ask Me Anything questions that you guys sent in were so good. Thank you for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate that. And I am going to continue to try to be very much an open book. So if you ever have any other questions, or if you're going back and watching that later, you can still leave questions on that video that I'll try to respond to. I do still need to go back and respond to some of the comments that were on there with questions. And so I haven't forgotten about that. So I will try to do that this week for those of you that did leave additional questions on there. But I just really appreciate that this is a space where you guys have helped it feel like it's okay for me to share about things that can feel kind of vulnerable. And I was glad to hear that it helped some of you feel, validated or more seen, or like you had some more insight into yourselves or to loved ones in your lives. And that really is just what I was hoping for. Because just knowing that you're not alone can be a really powerful thing. And you guys helped be that for me too. So thank you. I enjoyed doing that. And beep, sorry. one of the kids' stopwatches. Maybe I'll do other AMAs in the future. Maybe even on other topics. That could be interesting. Like a diamond painting related AMA. That's Ask Me Anything, if you didn't know. Since I don't know, like I have been diamond painting for a long time, but I never want it to be like, oh, I know everything, I'm an expert, and my opinions are the be all end all, because that's simply just not true. I am constantly learning new things from fellow crafters in the community, and I know that I don't know it all. I definitely don't. But I like being able to share, like, if there are things that I can help with, and I feel like doing a sort of question answer format, like or responding to things in a WIP and Chat would be an interesting way to do it. It's kind of similar to how Anthony from Single and Placing, just because I don't want people to be like, yeah, you're copying someone else's idea. I love how Anthony from Single and Placing, he often does a lot of like responding to comments on his videos. Like he'll respond to those comments in his vlogs, where he'll be like, doing walks with his doggo and all that, and he'll be going through and responding to comments that way. So I like that concept a lot, and I don't know that I could do that for responding to all of my comments, but just the idea of being like, hey, okay, you want to do an Ask Me Anything opinions or help questions or something related to diamond painting, and then do like a dedicated video. I don't know. I'll give you guys a heads up if I decide to try doing something like that. But yeah, anyway, just consider it to always be an open door if you want to do any follow-up questions related to the video from last week, of course. So look at all these pretty shades of like green and aqua that are making up the dragon's little feet here. I feel like I am noticing, I think that this may be a more heavily computer charted kit compared to some of the kits I remember working on back in like 2020. I know that Distracted by Diamonds has gone through a manufacturer change, or more than one. I don't know. But I'm very, very anxious to get to like the dragon's face and the little elf girl's face and stuff to see how those turn out. There's some real softness to some of these lines, and some of the particular ways that it's rendered make me think, oh, I think it might be a little more on the computer charting, maybe with some hand touch-ups. I'm not sure. But it's so cute. It's so cute. By the way, this past weekend, if you missed it, I put up a video where I talked about my personal tips and suggestions for how to combat diamond painting burnout. That was a little bit of a spur of the moment video where this happens sometimes, and I actually love when it happens, but I never know when it's going to happen, where I just sort of was, I don't know, it's like the muse struck or inspiration struck rather. I don't think the muse did anything. My muse is working. I was in tune with my muse, and I was like, oh, you know what would be so helpful? What if I did a video on like tips for dealing with diamond painting burnout? That's also part of how I'm trying to push myself to not really be in a rut with just doing unboxings and whatnot. I'm trying to like stretch myself out of that sort of fallback that I've gotten into a little bit. I think there's lots of value in unboxings just in terms of sharing with you guys what's out there, but I don't want to totally lose sight of the more like helpful type videos that are more geared to be tutorials and whatnot. So anyway, my brain just started going, and I just grabbed, my notebook and was jotting down every idea that was coming to mind related to that, and then broke it down into, okay, let's make this into some tangible, like, steps. Let's break it down into some steps that work. And so I was kind of grouping some of the ideas together, and that's what I came up with. And you know what? Every once in a while, I walk away from filming a video and I'm listening back to it, and I just go, you know what? I don't know how it's going to, like how other people are going to like it, but gosh, I am happy with how I communicated what was in my brain. Like, I feel like I did a good job. I am personally happy with how I put what was in my brain into words, because sometimes that's really hard. But that's how I felt about that video. And I don't often feel that about my videos. And so I was like, I'm happy. I'm proud of this video. I'm happy as be putting it out there into the world, and hope that it is going to be helpful for diamond painters, because I just feel like I see this. It has to be at least once a week, if not more, in various diamond painting Facebook circles or groups where people will comment that like, yeah, I'm just feeling burned out, guys. What do I do? And it's not a wonderful feeling. And I'm just hoping that maybe some of my learnings from the various times I've gone through some burnout will be helpful to other people. So feel free to go and check that out if you're interested, or even just bookmark it for a rainy day when you're feeling like, I think burnout, burnout might be coming. How can I make sure that I avoid it if possible? And, I don't know, maybe there'll be something helpful in that video, I hope, but I was happy with that one. I have a couple other ideas percolating, and we'll see. I'd love to get to at least maybe one of them before the end of this month, but I don't want to overcommit it, because I know this month is just simply going to be a bit busy, and I don't want to overdo it. I feel like that's one of the things I could have practically added into that video, now that I'm thinking about it, is like, if life is just busy, then don't try to overcommit yourself to big projects, or push yourself to diamond paint as much as you would be if you were in a slower, more relaxed phase of life. One of the videos I am hoping to potentially get to this month is, I guess it'll depend. Ooh, oh my gosh, I almost dumped in a new color into my tray that I have not yet emptied. Oh boy, let me try to turn my brain back on this evening. If I complete my logbook this month, which this will be the second to last page, and then my next finish will be the last page. I guess my next start will be the last page. I'm really looking forward to doing a flip through of my logbook of all like 160, how many will that be? 164 kits will be in that logbook. Now I do need to go back through, and there's a few different pages that I didn't print out the artwork to put in there, because the kit didn't come with like a sticker sheet or an inventory sheet of some sort, like this one, where it's like, I'm just going to cut this out and put it in the paper logbook. But there are a number of kits that didn't come with that necessarily, and so I want to print those out and add those into the logbook. That way I have that artwork that I can reference, and also just it'll be helpful for myself. At one point I had caught that up, but I think there's at least a year's worth. Well, not a year's worth, but I think it's been over a year since I caught it up, since there's probably 6 or 7 in there that I just need to go and print off. I'll probably just print off pictures of my kits, like the completion, like the finished photos that I took of those kits, maybe tuck those in there. But what kinds of things, well, are there specific things you guys would enjoy seeing as part of my logbook flip through video? It's like I could put up pictures of the finished canvases on the screen too, because there aren't necessarily pictures of the finished canvases on every page of the logbook. That's not something that I've done. But I think I think that that might end up being a long video because there's that many pages. And if I spent a minute on each page, that would be over a 2-hour video. So we're not doing that. It's going to be shorter than that. Maybe 30 seconds on each page, and then it'll just be an hour and a bit. So I guess I wouldn't be able to go too in depth, but I could just try to give quick snapshot thoughts. Good grief. When I just did that math, and I was like, what if I only just spent a minute on each one? Then I realized, no, a minute times 160. Yeah, no, we're not looking at a 3-hour video here. I don't have that in me. I know there's some people out there who do these really long form content videos, really long form, and all the props to you in the world, but I don't know that that's for me. I think the 1-hour WIP and Chats are about the most you'll get from me, you guys. So as far as what was going on this weekend, I think I'm going to sneeze. I feel it coming on. Hold on. Sorry, I wanted to spare you that loud noise, so I stopped the video. Man, the kids and I are fighting, Adam too, are fighting this kind of cough cold bug a little bit, and it's obnoxious. But anyway, this weekend we took it pretty easy. We had originally planned for Adam, my husband, to take our oldest to an air show that was happening at an air museum. We ended up not going because my oldest was just unfortunately kind of too under the weather. He's acting pretty normal, but he just has this cough that sounds really, really bad. And it's we don't want to get other people sick, and because I'm sure that's still spreading germs. And, people hear him coughing like that, they're going to be like, what are you doing with your kiddo out in public? And they sound like that when they're coughing. So no, we didn't do that this weekend, unfortunately. But then today I did go, because I've been feeling pretty okay aside from the occasional sneeze. I actually went over to downtown Disney and met up with a couple of online friends. I met some people in person, and one of them is Elisa, who has a YouTube channel. Is it Menk Arts and Crafts? I'll try to link to it below. And then she actually lives in Southern California as well. And then our friend Tiffany and her sister, it's Tiffany and Chloe's boyfriend was there too. And we all just got together at downtown Disney and got ice cream and walked around and shopped for a couple hours. And it was fun, you guys. Who said that online friends aren't real friends? It was really fun to get to meet people in person, and there was a lot about it that was very easy. It's we've chatted before online, mostly in Sophie, that's the Diamond Help Desk. She has a Discord server that is just a really sweet and welcoming place. And so when Tiffany and her family are going to be in town to go to Disney, it was hey, we can get together. Disney is half an hour from me tops. And I love Disney. We used to have annual passes for the longest time, but now that our kiddos are old enough that we'd have to get them their own passes, between that and just the sheer price hikes that have happened with those passes, it's just, that ain't my tax bracket. But we'll still sometimes go and walk around downtown Disney, and it's still get a little like taste of Disney, get some good food, and do some shopping. And it was a fun afternoon. It was nice to get to meet some friends, and very just sweet in person as they are online. And I was especially excited too because I had seen like a promo image from one of like the Disneyland accounts that Disneyland had actually put out a TARDIS in the Esplanade, which is the area in between like the two parks. It's at one end of downtown Disney, and they had a TARDIS out sitting there as part of like promoting that Disney Plus is going to be getting like the new seasons of Doctor Who. I am a huge Doctor Who fan, though. I don't know if I can even say that because I am behind and I have not watched almost any of the Jodie Whittaker seasons. And I don't know that I watched like the last of Peter Capaldi's episodes either.
You did.
We finished. We just didn't watch the specials. We didn't see like the transformation. That's what it was. We didn't see like him regenerate into Jodie Whittaker. That's why I was like, I didn't think we finished it. Adam has better memory than me, but I was like, I would have known if we saw that regeneration. But the way that the BBC like does these, the way that this show does like the Christmas specials and all the things. Anyway, so I'm working on catching up. My friend Rachel, when I was visiting with her a couple weeks ago, when she heard, she's like, you didn't watch any of the Jodie Whittaker seasons? She's like, I'm just starting them right now because I was keeping her company, and she's on leave, medical leave from work because she just had surgery. And so we were just sitting around. It's like we're going to be doing anything else. She's like, I'm just putting on Doctor Who. And so I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll try to catch up on this. But anyway, I was just excited that there was a TARDIS, and took some pictures because that's what you do. That's why I was there. And so yeah, it was a good afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I'll call it a win. And I need to catch up on Doctor Who apparently. Anyone else? I mean, I'm excited for like the new season. Like the new Doctor looks like he's going to be fun, and yeah. This past week, I know I've been mentioning to you guys about how I was sort of anticipating and worrying a little bit just about my kiddos who have IEPs, and we're kind of in what I call like IEP season. Like it's towards the end of the year, and we're this is when like you start looking at it like, okay, let's look at the next year and see what kind of the recommendations are going to be and what changes we might make. And there's a lot more to it when it comes to my youngest, particularly because this year was what they call his triennial, which just means that every 3 years they go back and they do the whole slew of like assessments and tests just to determine what the areas of need are and kind of where they are at. Just they do a ton of assessments, and they're like, okay, here's kind of where they fall in these different areas, like gross motor, fine motor, academics, like, cognitive and like social emotional, all the things. Here's where they fall kind of in relation to their peers. Here's kind of where the areas of need are and what they qualify for. Like that's a lot of it. It's just determining what services they qualify for. And this particular meeting leading up to it, it's like I just kept hearing like, okay, we're bringing on, now we're going to have the adaptive PE specialists, like, do an assessment as well. And okay, the OT will be there. And we filled out a lot of like, parent input assessments because they want to get like as much perspective, like the biggest picture as possible, which I appreciate. And I've been really, I was really happy with just how this process has gone at this school and with this team, because we've been at a number of different schools in our district, because they'll place you at whatever program is the best fit in different schools in the district will have different programs. And so we're used to just sort of being shuffled around to, okay, this school has the best program for your kiddo. And we've been really lucky this year that both kids have been at the same school and we've been able to walk with them, and it's just been really nice. And I was starting to feel like a little bit emotional leading up to this meeting. So I thought, what if they recommend that our youngest should go to a different school that has a program that better fits his needs? And it's like, of course I'm going to go with whatever is going to be the best fit for him. But also, like, I've really enjoyed getting to walk together to and from school with both kids every day. Now, I'm not going to, draw this out. Like, long story short, he gets to stay at the same school, and I'm very happy. There's a program that is going to be a great fit for him there, and he gets to stay with the same team of, like, specialists there and stuff. But at his meeting, without like going into too much detail, because I know I'm walking a line as far as making sure I'm respecting my kids' privacy, but I guess I always get a little bit emotional. Like, I have a little bit of a emotional like letdown and drop after these kinds of meetings, just because it's very like, as they can be super compassionate and kind and understanding, but they're still sitting down and they're laying out all the numbers in front of you and saying, like, flat out, like, in this area he tested like very below average, or in this percentile compared to his peers, or in this percentile. And it feels harsh, even though they're not intending it to be that way. That's not what these are for. It just feels like it kind of smacks you in the face. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, that was a phone.
Oh.
Sorry.
I thought that was your ear. I was like, you gotta go to the doctor, dude. Poor Adam. Anyway, so I was a little emotional, like, after, just because there's a lot. But the good news is that he is gonna get a lot of different support services that are really gonna help, and we're really happy, like, with the team and everyone. Now this I keep reminding myself, it's like every single one of them talked about how sweet and how funny Micah is, and just how incredibly sweet and loving he is too. He is always wanting to, like, give and get hugs, and I mean, and that's true. We see that at home too, but it's sweet to hear that from other people, and you could tell that, like, they really, like, love him and care about him a lot. So, but yeah, it's always a little emotional, because you kind of come out of that and you just go, I have to wallow in, like, just a tiny bit of, like, sadness and self-pity over it, and, like, I just hate that, like, things are hard for my kiddo, or that he's behind. And so I wallow for just a little bit, and I'm like, okay, time to put my big girl pants back on, and let's get to work. Like, let's get it done, and let's this is what we do. I don't know. Yeah, that's just always been those IEP meetings. They just, I don't know. I guess if you're the parent of kiddo with special needs, maybe you can empathize with that as well. But yeah, so hopefully next year is a good year for him, and he's going to be getting some additional support services that he's qualified for now, that will just hopefully help him keep growing and thriving. Also, everyone commented on how far he has come. Like, how far he has come. Like, one of the specialists that was involved, that was kind of like one of the overall special ed specialists, was had him as his TK, his pre-K teacher last year for half the year. And she got to see him after not seeing and working with him at all for over a year. And she was like, this, like, his progress, especially with, like, his speech, is just amazing. And so, I'm taking the reassurances and the, like, tangible ways of, like, but look how much he's grown. Like, look how far he's come. And yeah, so that's just, I know I talked a lot about just about that particular topic, but it's been, just kind of, it's really on my heart. Like, that's been a big part of my week. But we still have to talk with Connor's teacher and kind of get official word on what they're going to want to do with him next year. But he's mainstreamed at this point, and at our last kind of progress check-in, they weren't anticipating that was going to change, but I'd still like to, talk to them and confirm. So yeah, that's the season that we're in right now, you guys. And he's about to start standardized testing for the first time. This is the first grade that they start doing standardized state testing. So hopefully he's going to be feeling better soon, because he's missing like some like good prep time, like the test prep that they do where they help the kids feel really comfortable with it so that they don't go into like the test taking time and it's, you know, intimidating or scary or whatever. But anyway, what else has been going on? I have some collector problems. I like don't know where else to like share about this. I don't know if anyone else is going to be will know this, but I really enjoy like obviously collecting things. Hello, did you see my pen stash video recently? But also I'm kind of a Disney adult. I mean, if what I was talking earlier with going to downtown Disney didn't make that obvious, but I'm a little bit of a Disney adult, but not in like as a whole part of my identity. However, I really enjoy some of the like Disney merch out there, specifically like a couple of brands of like the Disney bags and purses. And one of my favorite brands is Harvey's, which they're actually local to me, and they make them there, but they're bags and purses that are made out of seatbelt material, and there's prints and stuff on the seatbelts, but they're really durable, they're really cute, and they do these really fun partnerships with IP holders like Disney. And tomorrow, well, literally today, shortly after this video goes live, they have a Cars collection that's releasing. And I remembered saying years ago, I was like, man, if they ever do a Cars, like the movie Cars, like the Pixar movie Cars, I'm going to be so toast, because those are my kids' favorite movies for years, like years and years and years. And I will just forever and always have the most nostalgic attachment to those. But you guys, if you thought Diamond Art Club releases could get crazy, these bags will sell out in seconds. Like seconds. Faster than a Butterfly Effect Wears pen. These bags will sell out. I'm really going to try. I almost went to the in-store event, but then I saw that it was like 2 days before the in-store release, which they hold back stock for online. It was just a couple of days before the in-store release, and people were already lined up. Like, they were sleeping over for 2 nights for this release to like do the in-store one. And I was like, nope, there's absolutely no way. No. But I don't know. Wish me luck, you guys. I don't know. I love them. Now, as far as what I have been reading and watching and listening to, I have a little bit more to share on these fronts this week. Reading. You guys, I, at least for the moment, am out of my audiobook slump. Oh my gosh. It has been months. I was going to say I first thought it was the third Crescent City book was the last time I was listening to an audiobook, but no, I read the physical copy of that book because I wanted to experience it that way. And so the last time I was in an audiobooks phase was it was in 2023. It was like in November or December. It's been forever. I've just been in a slump and gone, no, I just don't feel like it. Well, no, a couple of nights ago, I was sitting there going, none of these shows sound good to me. Nothing sounds good. I had even tried like starting like a half dozen shows. I would watch a few minutes of it. Like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. And then I just on an impulse thought, what about an audiobook? Do I feel like an audiobook? I think I might feel like an audiobook. I have like 3 Audible credits that had accumulated at this point that I needed to use, or more than that even, because it's been since December. Did I put a hold on it at one point? Anyway, I had multiple Audible credits I needed to use. And so I went in and I've decided, okay, kind of next on my TBR was the book From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. And I went into it, I'm going into it with really kind of tempered expectations because I've heard, mixed things about it. I've heard some people say like it's like sometimes the story is meh, or that, I don't know. I just had heard some mixed things about it, but at the same time, this I feel like is the book that I see so often recommended when people are looking for, like, okay, I finished the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Uh, what's something I could read next that's kind of similar? And I feel like the series I see recommended so often is From Blood and Ash. And so I thought, let's try that. And I started it, and yeah, no, I'm digging it. I like I said, I went into it with, I feel like, reasonable expectations, and I'm almost halfway through it already, and I'm enjoying it so far. You know, it's fun. It might be like kind of a guilty pleasure read because it's like a romance. It hasn't been any spice or anything, but it's kind of, there's some tropes in there, but they're like tropes that I enjoy, like the who did this to you. And so I just, I'm enjoying the having something else to be back into as far as like I didn't like being in the audiobook slump at all. Because I have a lot of books on my TBR. I'd love to eventually get into like the Brandon Sanderson books again, which I had started with my friend Kate like over a year ago. She had me listen to a bit of one, and I remembered I really enjoyed it, and I just never did go back to it, but I would really like to. And from joining the bookish side of YouTube and like listening to a bunch of those videos for a while, all I was doing was just adding more and more books to my TBR. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get through some of them here while I'm in this enjoying audiobooks phase. And it's something I can easily do while I'm diamond painting too, which I'm a fan of. Can multitask. So yeah, I actually have something to share in my what I was reading this week category in this little update. As far as watching, Adam and I have been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine. We're like really enjoying it a lot, and getting to like the end is in sight a little bit. I think we have a season and a half left. We're in the middle of season 5. No, if Adam has headphones. We're in the middle of season 5 or 6. There's a season. Oh yeah, it must be the middle of season 6 because there's 7 seasons, and it's really, really good. It feels like this is where they just completely hit their stride, like with these characters and everything. Adam's seen it before. I have not, but I'm enjoying it. It's good. I don't know what we'll watch after, but this is what we're into right now. And then listening to. Okay, so I've been listening to Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department, pretty much nonstop since it came out, and now I'm like finally ready to start just adding it into the shuffle now instead of just listening to the album. And I feel like, okay, I think I have a little bit more of a handle on this album and what my kind of personal favorites are, which this may change. Like other songs will probably grow on me. So any Taylor Swift fans that have been listening to this album a lot, I'm curious to hear which songs have ended up kind of being your favorites as you've listened to it. I think my top favorites, well, one I've talked about in some of my past WIP and Chats, the one that like stood out to me the most immediately, like the first time I listened to the album, which is that I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, which is apparently like turned into like the anthem for like moms in their 30s and 40s. Or not just even moms, but just like my generation of like women. And I've seen so many TikToks and merch and all the things related to the lyrics in that song. So clearly I'm not the only one it resonated with. I also really enjoy the Black Dog and the Bolter. There's something about like the music specifically, like not even necessarily the vocals and the lyrics, but just the music that like really, really grabs me. And then the song But Daddy, I Love Him has really grown on me too. So as a whole, like I don't know where I'd rank the album overall in terms of my personal favorites of Taylor Swift. I feel like it's probably going to end up, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the middle. Like the album as a whole, I don't know. I don't know. I really like it. I like a lot about it, but just smacked my phone or recording arm again. Yeah, I don't know as far as where I would rank it though, as far as personal enjoyment. Like ones that I'll, go back to and listen to a lot of, I guess. It might just have too much too much angst and heartbreak, though, for it to be really high on my list. Yeah, that's TBD. We'll see. And then what I have coming up this week videos wise. Well, my Diamond Art Club sneak peeks have been a little bit unpredictable, and it's, you know, they know it's an issue of things getting delayed, just getting to them. You know, last week's was super delayed, and 2 weeks ago, and then last week's it actually came in on Friday morning, and I was able to film, and I had it up just 15 minutes after the social media preview went live. I was racing against the clock, and but I was at the mercy of when FedEx delivered. And then this week's, I don't even know about this week's, a big question mark. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. But just, you know, hopefully I'll have this week's for you, and we'll go from there. And I really do for a small shop haul. And what else? Oh, I ended up deciding that I did want to order one more round of Craft Buddy stickers to open with you guys, and that's it. Then I'm just going to do trades. And whatnot. So I ordered those. I don't know how quickly they'll ship or arrive, but if those get here, I want to do that video ASAP so then I can get a move on with, you know, finishing my sticker album if possible, doing the trades and stuff that I need. And then I don't know what else. I have some more kits to unbox. I have some that have been sitting for a little while that I need to unbox. And yeah. But I think a small shop haul will probably be happening this week. So anyway, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, which I've had to cut for various reasons and clips, I think that we're probably around the hour mark, I hope. Let's see, if you made it to the end of this video, would you mind leaving some kind of floral emoji, because we have our adorable Snapdragons right here. We'll see if I'll still have this kit and be working on it with you guys next week, or if I'll have a new kit up and running by that point. And who knows what that'll be, because I'm feeling so indecisive. But oh, cute little dragon feet. That turned out cute, you guys. Let me know in the comments as well what you were working on while we chatted today, and how you're doing. How was your weekend? How's your week looking this week? Anything fun you have coming up? I would love to read your comments below. And thanks for watching. Also, feel free to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I think you'll probably like it here if you made it all the way to the end of this video here. And would love to have you as part of my little community. And leave a thumbs up on the way out if you don't mind. Have a fantastic, wonderful week, my friends. And I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Bye.